So, what I've learned after coaching and training obese people over the last few years is I think the number one thing that an obese person needs to do is educate themselves as to what are the ingredients that I'm taking into my mouth. Number one. Number two would be to seek therapy for probably some kind of formed addiction. Because honestly, you can't get that heavy unless you've formed some kind of addiction to something in foods, some part of the process of making food part of your life, typically also compounded by alcohol. So the foods in question would be any of the foods that are always available, the abundance of food, the food problem solved, by the way, but it's not really solved because the only thing you really get is fast food, restaurant food, chain chain restaurant food. Guess what? It's all the same shit. It's all meat from factory farms. It's all eggs from factory farms. It's the worst milk, the worst of everything, the worst vegetables. It's nothing like going to Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or a farm and getting real vegetables. Also, the same applies to the meat that you're getting. You're getting feedlot diseased meat and eggs. Nasty. You ever see the conditions? That's the only thing that stupid documentary on Netflix got right, was illustrating the conditions in which factory meat is actually created. So no matter what the restaurant is, whether it's McDonald's crappy burger or the fanciest local steakhouse, unless it says grass fed and cooked in butter or tallow only and void of a lot of these processed oils and nonsense and fake sugars that they're throwing in. And there's all these little restaurant tricks of cheap ass ingredients to make that meat taste better and more palatable. But if you have a trained palate and if you know better, you know they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes. You know it's all junk. And that applies to every single local restaurant, unless specified at the restaurant that the ingredients there are organic when possible, non GMO, or grass fed or pasture raised. So let's take the crappiest ingredients that we can possibly get our hands on planet Earth and make them available to everybody 24 hours a day. Your body was designed to eat some food, not a lot of food, by the way. And whatever excess it got, when it could get excess, it would store the rest of it. The problem is now is that we're not chasing wild pigs in the woods or hunting deer with spears when our bodies were designed originally. That's what you had to do. Now there's a dead animal. It can be delivered right to your house. I can get the leg of a cow, more or less, like a giant roast, sent 15-pound roast from Costco. um, in minutes, I can have it here from Instacart. So the hunt is over, the movement is over, and in fact, now quite the opposite. We're force fed commercials by athletes, celebrities, Mountain Dew, McDonald's, Burger King, Dunkies, Dunkin' Donuts. Thanks, Affleck. Um, it's the norm. The norm is these polluted food sources and people interpreting that marketing as real as these products are food, but the reality is they're selling you rat poison, low grade, long term problematic poison to your system. It's not really rat poison, it's human poison. And it doesn't kill you instantly. It takes you a long time, but it'll get you. Now you want to clear that out. You want to not be addicted. Okay, so this is what maybe you're gonna need to see therapy after you watch this entire video. And the therapy won't be for obesity. It'll be like, why is the world like this? um, so you got a marketer saying something to you. You got cool branding and shit flying around on the screen. You got some athlete, LeBron James, peddling some bullshit. He'd probably never eat or drink ever. And you believe it's real and true. And that's like this the thing that we do. But it's not. You need single ingredient foods, man. Vegetables, fruit, really good meat, really good eggs. You want to talk about eggs? Probably not. That's not like, hey man, who wants to talk about fucking eggs? No one. But if you want to know about eggs, I'll tell you something real quick. If you go to Whole Foods and you buy pasture raised organic eggs, that's not just cage free, by the way. Cage free is low level marketing kind of scumbaggery where yeah, it's cage free, but they're still fed the wrong food and they're still living on top of each other and shitting on each other and pecking each other to death and having their beaks clipped. It's disgusting. So you want pasture raised and organic, meaning they can roam around and eat the shit they're supposed to eat, the bugs and the whatever. They just chickens are nasty, bro. But they don't eat corn, GMO corn, and all the feed that they pump these nasty chickens on. And it's just it's that is disgusting. So that's where your conventional egg from any diner or McDonald's or the fanciest restaurant you can go to. Let's go to let's go to Fresh Salt in Old Saybrook for a brunch. Let's go to Great River Country Club for a brunch. It's the same fucking shit. It's just nasty ass eggs with the lightest yolks. That's how you tell the difference. They're these feedlot eggs raised in nasty conditions. They're white and bleached, and inside is an egg that's almost void of nutrition. It's just, I mean, again, when I say void of nutrition, like if you're dying, those eggs will save your life. But if you're trying to optimize and get rid of the junk, those eggs are terrible. If you get the Whole Foods pasture raised eggs, look at the color of the yolk. It's almost orange. That's rich with vitamins and nutrients and protein and fat. Good stuff. Regular eggs, probably when you get them at a diner, also cooked, which is basically like they're cooking it in fucking machine lubricant based on what I've learned about seed oils, the oils that are used at every restaurant, these rancid, toxic, bad oils that are used at all the restaurants. It doesn't matter which restaurant, 22 Bowens in Newport, doesn't make a difference. They're still cooked in the same oils, the chemical bombs, the feedlot meat. So you take feedlot chicken that was raised in captivity with its beaks cut, diseased, disgusting, shitting on each other, living in a warehouse with 10,000 other nasty chickens were shuffled along and fucking butchered and killed. And that nasty ass chicken is then separated from the bone mechanically, usually, if after the main portions are taken away. That is put into like a wheat sugar GMO wheat, by the way, which GMO wheat contains pesticides and is basically inedible. You shouldn't have GMO wheat. You shouldn't have GMO corn. But there'll probably be one of those two things in the breadcrumbs, along with nonsense, oils, sugars, probably two or three different forms of both of those things, tons of salt, and then that shit put onto the nasty meat, and that's dipped in the nasty oil that's probably already been used like 3 or 4 times before you get your nasty fried shit. So high heat, nasty oil with the remnants of the other toxic things that were in there. Here goes your nasty meat with your nasty wrapping on it. Let's fry that up. Now let's serve that to you. And it's like serving someone drugs, cigarettes, something. You're delivering someone a problem, a lifelong problem by introducing that. Because the problem with that is that it's so utterly hyper palatable. It's so delicious tasting in your mouth that you could not fathom that this isn't food. And that's the big lie. That's the big lie. What are you supposed to eat? You're supposed to eat the chicken that was pecking at the bugs and get the eggs from the chickens that were pecking at the bugs. And you were supposed to just take its meat and roast it on a fire or something and eat that shit. That's it. That's where the human body started, and that's what it was supposed to do, was taking animals with the luck of fire, the invention of of fire, and eating those motherfuckers. And along the way, gathering up whatever occurred naturally, colorful, bright things. But it wasn't this. So your old ancient operating system in your body that controls storage is overloaded. Your brain's overloaded. This stuff tastes so good, but it doesn't nourish you. So your body's all whacked out, doesn't know what to do. You just gave me 1,000 calories, but I can only really use like just like the base of it, like the chicken, right? So I had 1,000 calories, but I only really had like 4 ounces of usable food. But that's only supposed to equate to like 150 or 200 calories. There's 800 calories of nonsense that is not able to be used or processed. That's where the fat and the bloat and the wrinkles and the problems, the internal problems, the internal visceral fat that grows around your organs, that's where it comes from. The food supply is so utterly polluted, but the real food supply, the Peter Attia food supply, the Joe Rogan food supply, the $5 venison sticks, in the fresh elk. Probably, I don't know because I've never actually looked it up, but I'm gonna assume that if a pound of filet mignon from Whole Foods, grass-fed filet mignon from Whole Foods, as of yesterday, was $41 a pound. It went up a buck since the last time I checked. That elk has got to be $200 to $300 a pound. I could be wrong. Maybe it's like 80, but whatever the case, it ain't 40. And 40 is ridiculous for a pound of anything. So real food is being guarded. You say the elites are pushing this vegan agenda or this 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 alternate agenda, but that's not true. The elites are eating the best, least processed, high quality, lean meats and fish captured in a different environment, certainly not farmed, and the best organic fruits and vegetables that you can get your hands on. They're not eating the bullshit. They're not eating Beyond Burger. That's for people who just don't understand ingredients at all. It's no different. It's the ethical, less guilty version of the same shit. It's pollution in a bag. It's you know what I tell my teenager? Those kind of foods are zits in a bag. So I call them either rat poison or zits in a bag because that's what it all comes down to now. So that's the addiction. The addiction is to those things because it's just too damn good. And the brain is fooled. The brain's fooled so bad. You go to the hibachi, farm raised shrimp. I'm going to get shrimp. It'll be healthy. No, they're throwing down this nasty oil, a couple hundred calories there of unusable, rancid oil. And then they're taking shrimp, farm raised. You don't want farm raised fish, man. It's just a bunch of fish being fed things that they're not supposed to eat and just swimming around and fish shit in little, well, not little, like a fish bowl, but like way too small for what those fish are supposed to be doing. And they're just in there together. It's weird. And if they're salmon, they're colored, just like with the eggs. They're dim naturally. They're very dim, light pink. You see a salmon from nature, bright, vibrant, orange, fiery orange red. It's like the color of this fucking Pellegrino can. It's fake. Fucking with nature. But at the same time, you gotta feed people, right? But what you're asking people to do who are addicted to this rotten food supply, this is all the food. It's all terrible unless you're doing what the new elite is doing, which is so hard to sustain, is cooking all your own food, single ingredient food, eliminating the seed oils, eliminating the nasty sugars, food colorings, getting high protein, getting a lot of exercise, getting sunlight, getting sleep. That's the new elite. It's not. It's not what you think. Vacation food, pool food, hotel food, road food. It's all just a different level of the same nasty shit across the board. There's a handful. If you go to like the richer towns like Fairfield, Westport, around here, go to New York City, obviously, cities are always like that. They have really good organic stuff. My family was making fun of me. We were in New York City in February, and I make my own bone broth now, and I drink bone broth regularly, organic. And walking the streets of New York City downtown, there's literally a restaurant called Bone Broth. I was like, oh my God, my people. It was very funny. But there's organic options. There's great options all over the city. Of course, you go to Times Square, and the poor people who never make it out of Times Square are just getting the same crap there that they would just get at home or on the highway. It's so bad. Except they just pay like $200 for chicken fingers. You can go to Fridays in Times Square and buy chicken fingers for like $35. It's the same disgusting. It's probably even worse chicken fingers that you'd get at the Fridays in any town, USA. Now, what you're asking people to do with this addiction, though, and this force feeding of everything all the time. Here's a commercial for soda. Here's a commercial for Dunkin' Donuts. Get your fucking latte bullshit, like Larry David said. Some kind of latte bullshit. But the latte bullshit, the Starbucks stuff, it's just sugar. Hundreds of grams of it. It's awful. Keep the commercials for all the things, these big greasy bombs of nastiness. It's the same as if you're a heroin addict, just commercials of all different kinds of heroin. That sucks. That's enticing for a heroin addict. It's not what the heroin addict wants to see. But a food addict has no out. A food addict has nowhere to go. So the only way you can go if you're a food addict is you got to go in here first. Learn what the hell you're doing. Track your calories and see, like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I need to know that. That's very important. But that's just information. You need to get to the core of understanding why you're drawn to certain things, certain situations that lead you to binge, overconsume, and just go too far all the time consistently. Because there's no other way to get obese unless you go overboard all the time consistently for a long period of time. There's no other way. It's the only way. It's overabundance of calories, overnourishment, whatever you want to call it. I call it undernourishment because to eat 4,000 calories of Wendy's, I mean, God, you're just getting probably 3/4 of that is probably just unusable to the human body. And it just stores on you or causes problems, man. That stuff can't come out. It's these oils and these sugars and these colors and these other things that you see as ingredients in the food that you're sticking in your mouth. Just look up the ingredients. Go to ChatGPT or just go on the internet and just type in what are the ingredients of like an entire Chick-fil-A dinner like that you want to eat. You want to eat a Chick-fil-A sandwich, whatever kind, the milkshake, the French fries. And it'll tell you at surface like, oh, it's chicken and it's wheat, but no. But what are the real ingredients? What were the ingredients that are in the chicken? What kind of chicken is this? Was the chicken raised eating bugs in a field, or was the chicken raised eating GMO seeds and corn and chemicals to fatten them up, and then shot with more chemicals because they live in disgusting environments? What are the real ingredients? That's what no one's looking for. It's beef. Yeah. It's beef plus chemicals plus bad scenarios. So those addictions are just fueled. TV ads, radio ads, internet ads, magazine ads, billboards, signs along the highway, can't at the gas station, more of it, driving down the road, everywhere you go. Come on in, feed your addiction. You know, I see people sneaking into all kinds of restaurants or stops or in the office. It's the vending machine or whatever's left out. They leave out a big container of like salted caramel something in a jug, and it's out in the morning. You go there by 2 p.m., gone. You people all day long will hit the ice cream shops, just come out with a big old ice cream. Ah, that was delicious. It's not helping. So you want to not be disabled by obesity. Educate yourself, understand the ingredients, track your calories, get your calories lower. But you're never going to really get to the bottom of it. And you're never going to stop the behaviors, the negative cycle, unless you get to the root of why you're doing that. Or if you, maybe there is no why. Maybe your body's just totally addicted to sugar. Well, what do you do to get out of that? So tracking your calories via an app like Fat Secret can really help you see what you're putting in your mouth all day long. You know, you can put in every ingredient for 1 week straight, 7 days, and uncover all the truths about yourself that you didn't even know. Don't be excluding the 10 p.m. Chips Ahoy binge and half a gallon of milk. I've been there. Don't be excluding the 5th, 6th, and 7th drink at the bar or the half a plate of nachos. You know, all that stuff adds up. Your body's only supposed to take in around 2,000 calories a day. So no matter what you do or what you say, no matter how hard you exercise or hammer yourself or run or jump around or do yoga or whatever, if you're constantly and always going over the calories every day, you're compounding your weight. And the more you compound it, the harder it's going to be to reverse the process mentally and physically. But it's not undoable. I see it all the time. I've helped it along. It's a satisfying thing for me to help that along, and it's one of the most painful and saddest things when I feel I've failed at that. But it's not me failing. It's the person. And that's the thing I don't like the most, is to watch that rebound. So the therapy is something I can't help with. All I'm trying to do is shed light on the why. Why are you obese? You're probably addicted to food. Why are you addicted to food? Well, I just explained a bunch of reasons why, and I could literally go on for the next 5 hours about it. Now, again, this is all my own research, my own knowledge, my own hands-on experience. I'm not a doctor or nutritionist. I'm a certificate holding, lifelong fitness and nutrition enthusiast, certified health coach, yoga teacher, whatever you want to call me. But I know a lot. Okay. I've been reading and listening for 25 years behind this screen and didn't feel comfortable talking about any of this stuff until right around now. So I put myself in a pretty bad physical condition in my 30s. And I'm about to run the New York City Marathon at 49. So I just ran 13 miles 4 days ago. I ran 7 miles today. I lifted 100-pound dumbbells yesterday. Fucking whoopee-doo. But I'm almost 50 and I'm on no meds. I can run a half marathon, anytime. It feels very good. My container feels very good. But I'm crazy about my food. But am I crazy? Or is everybody else fucking crazy? It would appear that I'm crazy because what I'm doing isn't normal anymore, but it should be. So the next time you see one of those television ads or internet ads or billboards, notice how many times you see one of those places or one of those ads or one of those visuals that represent fast food, chain food, or any normal local restaurant that doesn't state organic, pasture raised, grass fed. Do you know how many cows and pigs and chickens it takes to outfit every one of those places is stocked with all the things they need? Where do you think that comes from? It doesn't come from a good place. Bad. So think about that next time you're munching on a nice juicy Whopper or juicy steak at your local fancy steakhouse. It's the same meat, just cooked different. And usually the one at the fancy steakhouse just dipped in more sugar and oil. Sad but true. So you want to pay $60 for a same feedlot meat steak, born in captivity, born in terribly dirty conditions, gaffed, beaten, whatever. The food's disgusting, pumped with antibiotics, forced to be pregnant. The whole thing. Oh, gross. So, yeah, there you go. Now you'll need therapy for 10 reasons. Thanks, Mike. Goodbye.